Hey guys, Aaron Neo here, bringing you one of my boss-like base designs for Town Hall 8. This one includes the fourth mortar. My last one didn't, but this one does. So rest assured that you can build this one out and have all your defensive structures fully accounted for. So with this design, it went through quite a few revisions, and we came up with this final product here. And what I wanted to do with this design was actually utilize more symmetrical walls than I have in my past designs that I've uploaded for you guys. And the reason for that is I think it helps to eliminate weaknesses. So what I wanted to do was still try and arrange my defensive structures in symmetrical shapes as much as possible, but at the same time also have symmetrical walls, which is quite a bit more difficult than the other way I would do it, where I would just focus on having symmetrical defensive structures and then fill in the walls around them. So with this base design, I thought about both at the same time. So that makes this base design work out pretty well, I think, in the end, and maybe a bit better than my last base design that I uploaded. Not to mention, of course, it includes the fourth mortar. And as we fill it in here, one of the significant characteristics of this base is how good it is against air attacks. So I have the three air defenses positioned in that perfect triangle, and I have them positioned the way they are for a very good reason. The way that they're in that triangle is such that each air defense actually covers the other two air defenses. So now that we have lava hounds in the mix for attacks, the best way to take them out quickly is to ensure that all three air defenses are within range of one another, because when the lava hound runs up to one of the air defenses, that means all three air defenses will be hitting it at the same time, and it'll get taken out as quickly as possible. If you use a base design where all three air defenses don't cover one another, then the lava hound is going to survive a lot longer, and you're going to be targeting it a lot longer before you start targeting the attacking units that actually do damage to your base, like balloons and dragons. So that's important. The other important thing about the positioning of the air defenses is that all three of them have good coverage over the town hall. So if two of them get taken out and there's one dragon left and it's on your town hall, the third one will still be there to take out the dragon, and that'll allow you to only get one starred a lot more often in Clan Wars versus a base where all three air defenses don't cover your town hall. So people doing dragon attacks on a base of this kind will have a lot more problems getting past that 1-star threshold. So that makes this base really good against dragon attacks, especially. And that is a great characteristic of this base. As you can see, things are very symmetrical at this point, and we've got the perfect square of the mortars going on. We've got the walls being symmetrical, so it's definitely a lot prettier looking than the last base I uploaded as well. And now we're going to fill in the outside a bit. Because of the number of structures, it's not going to work out to where the defensive structures are perfectly symmetrical. So, we have this extra archer tower that we're going to have to put in here. We only have 3 wizard towers, so we're going to have to substitute. So we have to do some substitutions, basically, with the defensive structures in order to maintain the symmetrical walls. And we won't have like the perfect pentagons that we had in the last design with the archer towers and the cannons. But I think that's okay. I don't think you necessarily have to have those perfect pentagons with your defensive structures, as long as you have decent substitutions for them that keep your base balanced. So as long as you can balance out your base with good substitutions, I don't think having perfect geometric shapes with your defensive structures is a necessity. And so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to make substitutions, and we're still going to keep things pretty balanced. And that allows our base to be, just as difficult to penetrate from any side. So that's the goal. Again, as with all of my base designs, I want to eliminate weaknesses. I want to make sure that no matter what side someone's attacking us from, they're going to have just as hard a time penetrating the base. And that allows us to be more successful against higher level attackers, against more experienced attackers. And that allows us to just dominate against, less experienced attackers. So that's what we're doing here. And as always, I make sure to position my traps in places where they've got a really good chance of being set off. So I always put them in between defensive structures inside the walls, where they're more likely to get set off most of the time. And I think that's very important. Springboards especially. When someone's attacking you with giants or hog riders, the springboards make a huge difference. Because they can't heal the hog riders or the giants once they've hit the springboard. They're gone. They can always heal with the big bombs and the little bombs. So that's why I think springboards are super important. So some other things, I already mentioned that I put the mortars in a square, but I also put them 2 layers of wall back. That's because of their range, and that's also because that's where they're the most effective. They are able to hit these different units as they're attacking you from that long distance, like wizards, archers, barbarians, and take them out very effectively. So that works out really well for you with a Barcher attack, for example. And they also have really good coverage in their positions inside the base. So if there's only like a few wizards left in an attack or whatever, one of those mortars or 2 of those mortars might be still left, and they'll wipe out the wizards before maybe they get a chance to take out your town hall, and then the attacker will only get 1 star. The positioning of the storages is also very strategic, so they're positioned where they are in order to protect your air defenses against dragon attacks. So the dragons are more likely than not going to get distracted by at least 1 storage before they can ever get to your air defense, and that whole time they're going to be getting hammered, and they're going to be hammered again. And then even if the dragons manage to take out 1 or 2 of your air defenses, there's still so many high hit point structures in between them and the last air defense. There's basically no one single direction they can attack your base and get to all your air defenses easily without getting hung up on storages. So that's important, and that's something I always try to do with any of my base designs nowadays. I always want you to be prepared for a dragon attack, because dragon attacks are just so common nowadays. In Clan Wars, you see them all the time, and being able to hold people to 1 star, or at least hold them to 2 stars when they're attacking you in Clan Wars, is the way to go as a Town Hall 8. And if you make sure they only get 1 star a lot of the time, you're in really good shape. And that is the case a lot of times with people who attack this base with dragons. Something else about this base is, I already mentioned a little bit about how the mortars work well against Barcher attacks, but this base in general works well against Barcher attacks because you've got like the Teslas all the way on the outside, and you've got a lot of pretty good range defenses all along the outside of the base. So you have really good coverage over your outer buildings. So when the Barcher attack is hitting your outer buildings, all of the barbarians and archers are going to be getting hammered by your outer defenses. So because of that, and just because of the compartmentalization of the base, there aren't too many structures in any single compartment, a bunch of different factors combined, this base actually works really well to get you all the way up to around Crystal League without you doing much of anything at all. One of my clanmates got all the way up to Crystal League with barely even attacking just by using this base, because it kept winning him so many defenses. So not only is it a good Clan Wars base, it's also a good base for gaining trophies. And it's a pretty good hybrid base because look, your resources are all pretty well protected. They have to break through at least 2 walls to get to any of your resources. And that's kind of the thing I always try to go for with my base designs. Never allow them to get to your resources by only breaking through a single wall. So that about does it, guys. I hope this tutorial was great for you and hopefully was just the right pace for you to build the base yourself. And stay tuned because I've got another awesome Town Hall 8 design coming up that also works amazing. Peace.